Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is the story of Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers Patch 5.5 Death Unto Dawn Part 1. Telophoroi towers have appeared all across Eorzea, and news that there is now a cure for tempering has spread far and wide. At the Rising Stones, Thancred returns to report on what he found while infiltrating Garlemald. He says that some major construction is happening that is transforming the Imperial capital. It's become a vast, nightmarish building that Eorzea suspects is designed for manipulating ether. He also suspects the workers themselves are tempered. Eorzea is currently in Alamigo, and Thancred mentions that Raubahn wants to meet with the Scions, so the heroes go there next. Just as the Scions are greeting Eorzea, Arnvald approaches. He and Alphinaud exchange friendly words, but he leaves saying he needs to meet with Fordola. The Scions then meet with Raubahn and other Eorzean leaders.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Eorzea. It is no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Raubahn says they've heard nothing from Fandaniel in some time. Lys mentions that scouts sent to their local telophoroi tower came back tempered, chanting "Glory be to Garlemald," and they tried to kill her. Eorzea is confused on how anyone can be tempered to a nation, not a primal. Sir Aymeric says in Ishgard, Garleans have been abducting Beast Tribe members and taking them into these towers. Raubahn says that people who resist tempering are necessary for investigating this. Then Arnvald and Fordola enter.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
The meeting ends, and the Scions speak with Arnvald outside. Alphinaud is concerned that this is too dangerous, but Arnvald is not deterred. Fordola's reason for helping is more personal.
I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Moving on, Arnvald says that the nearby tower is too heavily patrolled, so they're heading to the one in Paglathan instead. The two of them depart, then Tataru rings the hero's link pearl. She says she's found Estinian, and he was headed to Ishgard, so the hero heads there next. In Ishgard, the heroes split up to search for Estinian, but after some searching he approaches them. Seeing Alisaie for the first time, he mistakes her for Alphinaud.
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphinaud.
I am not Alphinaud! Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Meanwhile, G'raha is in awe of Estinian.
To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Then Alphinaud arrives, and Estinian says he won't mistake him and Alisaie ever again. Estinian says he's headed to Azaz-La to speak with the dragon Tiamat to gain insight about Lunar Bahamut, since Tiamat was Bahamut's mate. The rest of the Scions join him. Tiamat has been held captive in Azaz-La for 5,000 years, but the Scions note that her grief over Bahamut's corruption is what truly binds her. The Scions speak with her and inform her about the telophoroi towers and Lunar Bahamut. She says Fandaniel could not have summoned Lunar Bahamut without the aid of the dragons of Mericidia. Estinian demands she stop grieving and break free and fight for her children. She roars with rage, but after a moment Alphinaud realizes she's actually afraid of being corrupted as Bahamut was. Alisaie mentions the cure for tempering and how the same mechanism would protect her from etheric influence. Alphinaud says this is her chance to make amends for the past and have a future. She appears convinced, and now it's up to the Scions to figure out how to break her shackles. G'raha agrees to study the Allagan records of Tiamat while the other Scions work on the shackles. After some searching around, the heroes find an Allagan node that references the dragon, and they use a little of G'raha's royal blood to activate it. The node refuses to help them without a system update. The heroes find the flagship terminal and begin the update, but it says it will take over 5 years to complete. Alphinaud says he will work with the terminal to find another way to release the shackles. Estinian warns against trying to work with or understand Ascians anymore, especially with Fandaniel who wants to die anyway. The heroes return to G'raha Tia, who's been studying Tiamat. He says that her sorrow is a mild case of tempering to Bahamut that can be purged with porxies, but they will need a lot of ether. They ask Tiamat to speak of her past while Alicey fills the porxie with ether. She says she and Bahamut lived peacefully in Mericidia before Ascians sent the humans to them. When the humans first arrived, they left the dragons alone. As more and more humans poured in and their populations grew, they fought amongst each other. They recognized the wisdom of the dragons, however, and asked Bahamut to intercede in their conflicts, which brought them peace. Eventually, the Ascians interfered and stirred hatred on both sides and sent the Alligans who slew Bahamut. At this point, Alicey and the porxie are ready, so it does its work.
This is it, Angelo!
Tiamat exclaims that she can feel the release of corruption, but the shackles still need to be removed. She also can sense that some of her children can fight alongside her, but some others are too corrupted and will have to be killed rather than serve as tools of evil.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
Just then, Alphinaud rings Estinian's link pearl and says he's figured out how to release the shackles, so he does. Once she's airborne, the Scions receive word that Lunar Bahamut is at Pagalthan with a host of corrupted dragons. The other Scions leave for Pagalthan, while Estinian gets there his own way.
Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
As the remaining Scions gather in Ul'dah, Thancred informs the group that the Amalja tribe who inhabit Pagalthan are already under attack. The Sultana says she is resolved to come to their defense and has already deployed the flames, and the other alliance leaders have likewise dispatched their troops. Y'shtola finds it interesting that reports say none of the Amalja show signs of tempering. It's possible that Lunar Bahamut is different in some way, and perhaps incapable of tempering followers. The Scions rush into Pagalthan just as Tiamat is spotted in the sky bearing Estinian. They fight their way through hordes of tempered Imperials and Tiamat's corrupted children. When they approach Lunar Bahamut, he and Tiamat mutually wound each other, then the Scions finish the fight and Lunar Bahamut is destroyed. Tiamat thanks the Scions for all their help and vows to never listen to Ascians again. As she flies away, the Amalja chief thanks the Scions as well.
Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice. The enemy of our enemy is our friend, and you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Garleans who are deserving of our fury.
And thus the Amalja make peace with Ul'dah and unite against Garlemald. Earlier, inside the telophoroi tower,
what in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
as they try to set the Amalja prisoners free, an alarm blares and a lunar Ifrit appears to face them. Back in Ul'dah, the Sultana approaches the heroes with urgent news that some of their friends have been seriously wounded. Alphinaud rushes off to visit the Chirurgeons. Estinian and the hero follow him, while the others accompany the Sultana. The Chirurgeons ask them to wait outside so they can work, and Alphinaud grows anxious.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps I could have... Could have what?
Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
Alphinaud acknowledges that victory has costs, but he refuses to stop treating all life as precious. This irritates Fordola and she storms off, but Estinian speaks with her on her way out in defense of Alphinaud.
It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you'll all be next!
It doesn't seem to make much of a difference. Next, the Scions gather and meet with the Sultana. She starts by saying that Arnvald will receive the finest care available in Ul'dah. Then Pippin updates the party on what happened in the tower. After hearing of Lunar Ifrit, Urianger says it appears the towers were made to summon lunar primals using the wills of the prisoners bound within, but it's not clear how the wills of the prisoners are tempered to begin with, luring them inside. Y'shtola says they invoke their primals for the good of Garlemald and their corrupted minds. Thancred notes that the towers resemble the much larger tower he spotted being built on top of the capital. The Sultana has dispatched troops to deal with other lunar primals in the area that have also been summoned. She also reports that the Amalja and Ul'dah have made a formal peace agreement. After the meeting, the Scions agreed to return to the Rising Stones, though Alphinaud is still anxious about Arnvald. Back at the Rising Stones, Kryl has a few things to say. She has many unanswered questions about the telophoroi towers and the giant tower looming over Garlemald's capital.
Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the telophoroi's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Kryl hopes that Sharlayan won't turn a blind eye this time, especially when this might spell doom for the entire star. As a student of Baldessian, she hopes they will listen to her. She brings up another unrelated topic, the fact that Hydaelyn seems to be absent in some way. Y'shtola asks the hero how long it's been since he's heard from her. He confirms it has been a while. Y'shtola says she's spoken to others who have the Echo, and none of them have heard from Hydaelyn for a while either. Kryl hopes to find answers to this mystery in Sharlayan as well. Then she asks Estinian if he will continue to fight with the Scions.
If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Kryl says goodbye and departs for Sharlayan. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace, Xenos is upset with Fandaniel for his recent failure, but Fandaniel says it won't affect their overall plans. Together, they say Garlemald is an instrument of the star's destruction, and now it will finally be put to use. Xenos chooses a new weapon to wield, but we are unable to see what it is. And that concludes patch 5.5. I hope you've enjoyed this recap. Keep an eye on my channel. I'll be making a recap for patch 5.55 next. See you next time.